of it also. Hopefully that doesn't mess up my whole thing because I'm recording on two different places. But oh no, it's not going to be a green screen feature because I can just record it in vertical mode and it'll be able to show everything that I'm doing right now. So this will be an easy way of showing people how you see who voted and who didn't vote on the Congress Act, right? So if you're new to this, you go to congress.gov, which is congress.gov. You can type that into any web browser and you go from there. The easiest way to find this right now, since this just happened yesterday, what you would do is right here it says recent, and then you click on yesterday in Congress. So after you click on yesterday in Congress, it'll basically give you a breakdown of all the different things like action on legislation, and you can browse by the date. So it'll show you the past 3 days first, and then you can go through and visualize the rest of the month. So you have the first 3 days of the month of March, because we've only had those 3 days. They've only been in session those 3 days. But then you can go back and you can check every single thing if you want to. You can check the first session. You can check the second session. So you can get into all of these to check how it's being done. So what we're going to do is it was a House vote. So we'll go on the House on the floor. You would click on House. So when you click on that, it gives you a breakdown of these are the bills that were voted on in the House yesterday. The one we are paying attention to is House Resolution 1100 or 1100. If you want to look that up also, you can just type that up at the top bar where it says current Congress, and they'd be able to pull it up for you at the same time. So when you click on that, House Resolution 1100, directing the Committee on Ethics to preserve and publicly release records of the committee's review of violations or alleged violations of Clause 9 as it pertains to acts of sexual harassment and Clause 18 of Rule 23 of the Rules of the House of Representatives. Just to continue, the sponsor of this bill was Representative Nancy Mace from South Carolina. She introduced it yesterday to the committee, the House of Ethics. The latest action, it basically says 3-4 yesterday, motion to reconsider laid on the table, agreed to without objections. The interesting part and the best part about going on congress.gov is that you can go to a roll call vote. So since there was action done on this, you can go to the roll call vote, and the roll call vote will give you that information. So now that you go on that, we click on one roll call vote. Here you have actions, you have roll number 83, you have ethics, you have all this information here, right? So what you do is since they did take action on it, roll number 83. So you would scroll down, go to roll number 83 and click on it. This gives you an exact breakdown of everyone who voted and how they voted. Now, this summary is basically a way of showing you how this happens. So this is something that is important for veterans watching, for people that are just interested in how Congress goes about stuff. When it comes to any legislation, you can go ahead and do this for every legislation. It is not something different. So any legislation, like let's say the veterans, like let's say one of the major things going on is the Major Richard Starr Act, which would allow medically retired veterans to receive their retirement pay without offsetting their disability pay. Now, in order to see who's voting yay and who's voting no, this is important because most of the time they just tell you a vote was had, but they don't specify who voted how, who voted for what, who voted against what. So when you scroll down this, you start seeing that, oh, okay, here's the breakdown. The breakdown of past House. So these are the people that said yes, and then these are the people that say no. There was one person that decided to be present and did not vote. Then you had 5 Democrats that didn't vote. You had not 4 Republicans that didn't vote. So they basically didn't go through and vote, even though they were present. So all of those people were present. 5 Democrats didn't vote and 4 didn't. So out of the yay, or the people that said yes, there was 182. Out of the people that, out of the Republicans, it was 175. With the nays basically saying no to this was 27 Democrats and 38 Republicans. Because the thing is with this, you got to remember, people are going to try to push it out and say that, oh, this person voted this way or this person voted that way. No, now you have a verifiable way of visualizing how people voted. So when you go down the line, it'll tell you who voted. It was 357 total. And then you can just start going down the list. If you want to look for somebody specifically, you can make it even that much easier. You can search by their name if you know your representative. You can search by party, which it has it broken down by Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, New Progressive, or Independent Democrat. You could break it down by state. So if you just want to look at your state information, you could do so also. And then yes or no votes. I'm in the state of Kansas, so I want to see how the people in Kansas voted. So I can go to Kansas. So now that I'm in Kansas, it shows 4 different representatives. So we have one Democrat, Sharice Davids, voted yeah. Ron Estes voted yeah. Tracy Mann voted yeah. Derek Schmidt, for some reason, voted no. Now, why? That's the one thing I would love to know, and one thing I think they should put on there is the reason why they voted this way. So that way people can understand why it is they voted this way. Because a lot of the times these votes happen and people just cast their vote and you don't know why they feel that way. I think that should be something assigned to these votes. Would it delay the stuff? Most likely. But these people don't work for most of the fucking year, so I don't see how it'd be any slower to fucking do anything. They don't work for most of the year. They still get paid more than everybody does in the country by 3 times the average amount. So why ain't we asking them and verifying why it is? Like I said, I wanted to do some creative journalism today. Because, a lot of stuff gets portrayed in a certain way where it's just beneficial to some people and not beneficial to others. So that's something you got to pay attention to. That's something that is just like, hey, I wanted to see what that is. But hey, that's Kansas. Anybody got any other states that they want to know how their representative votes? You could go ahead and ask. Or you could just log on to congress.gov, go through the tutorial I just showed, and then it'll be, hey, this is what you got. So that's the easiest way of doing it. But yay and nay. So who voted no? Who doesn't want to release this information? So now we can go back to who voted no. And you can also download this information. So it's information you can find. So that's something that you can do easily. But here you have a breakdown of who said no. Because remember, there was how many votes? That's right. 65 votes that said no, we don't want to release this information. Why wouldn't you want to release this information? Why wouldn't you want it that all this information is notated and documented when you are using it? Like I said, this happens with every vote. Whenever they have a roll call and a vote for all these actions, this information is viable and this information is there for you to use. So keep that in mind when you ever have a bill that's proposed or something like that, and you see that they passed it or they denied it, whatever the justification may be, you can always log into congress.gov, find out where it happened, find out who voted which way, and then you know who you have to make a phone call to or who you have to speak to in order to get stuff fixed.